Greetings, Dr. Locklear here from New Life Academy. Thanks for joining us today, and we're so excited to join you today with two very special guests, Mr. Mosman, our athletic director, and Ms. Hawkendahl, one of our counselors here at New Life Academy. Before we bring them on, I just wanted to take some time to go back and revisit what we talked about last month. And one of the things that we talked about last month was education in the midst of a pandemic. And last month, we talked about the importance of not only recognizing, but also closing that academic gap. And we talked about some very specific ways that we're managing that at New Life Academy. Well, today we're going to pivot and dig into some of the areas that have emerged as true issues that surround this pandemic. And that is the social, emotional, and mental health needs of our students. And this has really taken a hit nationwide in the midst of COVID. And we truly are so mindful of this, and that we believe the balance of precautions that allow us to be in person is more important than ever before. And that's one of the number one things that we heard as we were discussing coming back live or looking at some different types of educational models. And hands down, people talked about the need to be back live. And fear and anxiety have really become byproducts of COVID-19. And the narrative has caused so many kids to land in so many different places and to be fearful. And that we know from past community crises that the children's mental health has been impacted by this negatively. And so we want to spend some time today to talk about how we're managing this and navigating this at New Life Academy through our community. And so if we could begin with Mr. Mosman, could you please share with us a little bit about what you're seeing in terms of student mental health and how you're trying to manage that through your presence in the hallway as well as our athletic and fine arts programs?
Yeah, sure. It's been a really good thing for us to have students back in the building, starting way back in August when we started our sports programs up with soccer, both of our soccer teams and our tennis team going. Just to see them on the first day of practice as they were able to gather together and be with their coaches and have a little bit of that sense of normal again was worth all the work that we'd put into to make sure that they were interacting with each other safely. The different protocols that were established by our conference, by the State High School League, and by our school itself. As we've gotten into games now on the athletic side, just seeing kids go out and be able to enjoy the things that they do normally, follow their passions, and to have those ups and downs, when everything is kind of the status quo, and there aren't those moments to look forward to, we quickly can settle into kind of a rut. And so to see our kids that are playing those sports right now and to see them be able to get excited about a game coming up, and even to see our fans get excited to be able to go watch a soccer game. Again, because it's that sense of normal, what we've had in the past, but it's different from what they've been experiencing for the last 6 months. And it's something to get excited about. Students that aren't athletes, I spend a lot of time in the hallways during passing time, and just the opportunity to see them, interacting with their friends, socially distanced, of course, but chatting with each other and the conversations they're having with teachers and other adults in the building. You can really see that there's a positivity there that makes it worth all the different things that we're doing with masks and distancing and so forth.
Good. And Ms. Hawkendahl, your office is a central location for so many students. 4 weeks in, could you talk about what you're seeing and how you're supporting our students who come through your office every single day?
Yeah, of course. It's a year, obviously, unlike any we've ever experienced. I think that the kids they are so resilient. Like, they are doing the best that they can. I have seen in the past week or so, students are kind of starting to fall apart a little bit. They're so used to having been home all summer long, and now all of a sudden we're back in the swing of things, and it's go, 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 go. And they're forgetting what it's like to just relax. So, they're stressed out. I have seen that. I think I think that the loneliness is starting to set in a little bit. They're wearing their masks, they're doing the best that they can, but unfortunately you can't always like get a read on somebody's emotions either when they're behind a mask. For the most part, I was telling some teachers the other day, I think that our students are just so thankful to be here that they would choose to wear a mask and be here in the presence of their friends and the teachers, me and Miss Cleanup, versus being home. But it is hard. It's very different. And like I said, they're just kind of lonely. They sit by themselves, in order to keep them safe and healthy. We have them in alphabetical order seating, but which is great because they can get to know people they normally wouldn't sit by. But at the same time, if they have a friend that they miss interacting with, it's just tough. It's tough. They don't get to go to their lockers. They do the best they can, but it's definitely been a challenge.
So from both of your perspectives, what are some thoughts that you have around or recommendations for both students and parents around maintaining those social connections that are so important?
Well, I can say I've been talking to a lot of parents and students and even teachers, and I think that it's very important that everyone is taking time to breathe, right? If you are coming to school and you're doing your work for 8 hours a day, and maybe you're going to a job after school, or you're babysitting or doing something, it's important that you take time to just relax and breathe and know that it's okay. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel uncomfortable, but that we still need to know that we're all in this together, because that was our motto last year with our decade dance. Like you're not alone if you feel uncomfortable or if you're having a hard time. A lot of people are, but it's okay to talk about it too.
How about you, Mr. Mosman?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to find the ways that you can connect. I almost like it a little bit to when you move away from home for the first time, you go to college or you move across the country for the first job, and you're missing your family, but you still have ways to connect. In the old days, it was just pick up the telephone and look forward to that next time that you could head home. Now we have so many different ways that people can stay connected, even when they can't be physically close, which is part of the reason that we've been here in school is because we know there's an importance to that as well. But those kids that are missing out or feel like they're missing out because they're not being able to be in the lunchroom with their friends, or maybe they're sitting across the room from their friends, they don't have those, those 30 seconds of individual interactions. And to be honest, as I've talked to some of our teachers, they're missing those same things. They're in the classroom with each other or with their students all the time, and not able to be in the staff lunchroom at lunch and that sort of thing. They're missing those interactions. So it's finding those moments where you can and taking advantage of those, but also using all the resources you have available to stay connected. My son had a good friend of his move away, and yet he's staying connected to that person through online gaming and whatever it might be. And I think that's important. They have so many different ways that we can stay connected. Besides just being face-to-face, but certainly we want to take advantage of the opportunities when we are face-to-face as well.
True. Well, I cannot thank you both enough for being a part of today's segment for our community. As we have navigated back over the past 6 months plus, and as we reflect and just pray over the fact that the transition began and we had to pivot into an online learning modality. But during that whole time, we all began to truly understand why we prioritized getting students back into the building. And a lot of that has to do with their social and emotional and psychological health. I mean, we are born and created by God to be a part of a community. And when that community is taken away, we see what has occurred. And so we're just so thankful to be here. And every day that we have live in our building with our students is truly a gift from God. So at New Life Academy, we just want to say thank you so much for all of your support and your prayers. And please keep them coming our way. Have a good day.